Welcome to my channel. Have you ever wondered who among the greatest wizards of the wizarding world possessed the most remarkable magical abilities? In today's video, you will learn why Severus Snape was stronger than both Voldemort and Dumbledore in certain areas of magic. Severus Snape is one of the most memorable, controversial, and tragic characters in the entire Harry Potter saga. For most of the series, he was seen as an antagonist, if not the main villain, then certainly an unpleasant figure. But in the end, the truth about his past changed everything. What once seemed like cruelty and vengeance turned out to be love and devotion. What appeared as coldness and disdain was, in fact, a deep sense of duty and sacrifice. Some even called Snape a coward, but few characters demonstrated more bravery than he did. Deceiving the most dangerous dark wizard of all time for years, how many could have done that? Yet, despite all of this, Snape's incredible magical abilities are often overlooked, and that's a mistake. He was not just a skilled wizard, he was a genius in multiple fields of magic. Let's dive into what made Severus Snape one of the greatest wizards of his time. Severus Snape was born into a troubled family. His mother was a witch, his father a muggle, and their home life was filled with tension. From a young age, Snape was reserved and introverted, struggling with insecurities and poverty, but he was also brilliant. Even before attending Hogwarts, he formed a close bond with Lily Evans, the future mother of Harry Potter. Their friendship, however, was tested when they were sorted into different houses, Snape into Slytherin and Lily into Gryffindor. Despite his love for Lily, Snape gravitated toward a group of Slytherins who later became Death Eaters. He never truly fit in, yet he remained loyal to Voldemort until the Dark Lord made one fatal mistake. When Voldemort killed Lily, Snape was devastated. In her memory, he secretly allied with Dumbledore, dedicating his life to protecting Harry, even if it meant acting as a double agent for both sides. His final moments were spent ensuring Harry had everything he needed to defeat Voldemort once and for all. But what truly set Snape apart was his mastery of magic. He was not just an exceptional wizard, he was a prodigy. As a student, he was already inventing his own spells, something no other Hogwarts student had ever done. His skill in potions was unmatched, surpassing even the most talented alchemists. He was a formidable duelist, a master of dark arts, and a true expert in magical defenses. Snape's knowledge of the dark arts was deeper than even Dumbledore's. The headmaster often sought his counsel on the subject, recognizing Snape's unparalleled expertise. But what made Snape even more impressive was his ability to counter dark magic. No one in Hogwarts history taught defense against the dark arts as effectively as he did. When it came to curses, Snape was in a league of his own. He was the only wizard capable of delaying Dumbledore's death after the headmaster was struck by a deadly curse from Voldemort's Horcrux. He was also the only one who could neutralize the powerful curse placed on Katie Bell. And then there was occlumency, the ability to shield one's mind from intrusion. Voldemort was a master of legilimency, the art of reading minds, but Snape outclassed even him in mental defenses. The Dark Lord, despite his immense power, never once saw through Snape's deception. For years, Snape stood before Voldemort, lied to his face, and never got caught. That alone makes him one of the most skilled wizards of all time. In the end, Snape surpassed Dumbledore in at least 2 fields of magic, and outmatched Voldemort in one. That alone secures his place as one of the greatest wizards in history. Snape's brilliance extended far beyond what most realized. While Dumbledore was known for his vast knowledge and wisdom, and Voldemort for his raw power, Snape possessed something different, a unique blend of intelligence, strategy, and adaptability. He didn't just know magic, he understood it on a fundamental level, bending it to his will in ways that few could comprehend. His potions skills alone were legendary. The Half-Blood Prince, as he called himself in his youth, had rewritten the rules of potion making. His modifications to standard recipes made potions more effective, faster to brew, and sometimes even altered their effects entirely. The most brilliant minds at Hogwarts followed instructions written by potion masters of the past, but Snape improved them. He didn't just follow the book, he rewrote it. Even Slughorn, a celebrated potioneer, failed to recognize the genius of his own students' discoveries. His combat skills were equally terrifying. While he rarely engaged in open duels, when he did, he proved himself nearly unbeatable. Unlike many wizards who relied on flashy spells and brute force, Snape fought with precision. Every move was calculated, every spell was cast with purpose. Even in the Battle of the Astronomy Tower, where he had to maintain his cover, he deflected every attack with ease, never once faltering. His mastery of non-verbal spells allowed him to cast faster than most wizards could react, and when it came to defense, few could rival him. His ability to counter curses to protect himself and others made him an invaluable asset to both Dumbledore and the Order of the Phoenix. But it was in deception where Snape's true strength lay. He was the ultimate double agent, playing both sides so convincingly that even the most powerful legilimens of all time failed to see through him. While many feared Voldemort's ability to invade minds, Snape stood before him, fed him false information, and walked away every time. His occlumency skills were so refined that even when faced with the Dark Lord's probing gaze, his mind remained impenetrable. He hid his true loyalties, his emotions, and most importantly, his grief. What made this even more astonishing was the level of danger he constantly faced. Voldemort did not tolerate failure. He punished weakness without hesitation. One wrong move, one slip of the mind, and Snape would have faced a fate worse than death. Yet for years he continued to deceive the most feared wizard in history, carefully feeding him just enough truth to remain useful while concealing his ultimate betrayal. The pressure alone would have broken most wizards. Snape endured it all. Even among his colleagues at Hogwarts, he remained an enigma. To the students, he was a cruel, cold-hearted professor who seemed to despise anyone outside of Slytherin. To the Death Eaters, he was a loyal servant of the Dark Lord. To Dumbledore, he was a man of unwavering loyalty and unshakable courage. But the truth was more complex. Snape was a man who lived in the shadows, a man who had sacrificed everything, his happiness, his reputation, and eventually his life, all for a promise he made long ago. His love for Lily was his driving force. It was his greatest strength and his deepest wound. Unlike Voldemort, who saw love as a weakness, Snape drew power from it. Unlike Dumbledore, who believed love to be the most powerful magic, Snape understood that love alone was not enough. It had to be protected, even at the cost of one's soul. He carried that love in silence, allowing himself to be hated, misunderstood, and despised by nearly everyone around him. He never sought recognition, never asked for redemption. He simply did what needed to be done. Even his final moments were shrouded in tragedy, betrayed by the very man he had served, attacked not out of personal hatred, but as a necessary step in Voldemort's misguided plan. Yet even then, his only concern was Harry. His last act was not vengeance, not self-preservation, but the desperate need to pass on the final piece of the puzzle, the memories that would reveal the truth. And in those memories, the world finally saw the man he truly was. Snape's legacy is one of sacrifice. He was not the hero that songs are written about, not the kind of figure who inspires stories of glory and triumph. He was the silent guardian, the man who worked in darkness so others could live in the light. But what makes his story truly remarkable is that despite his brilliance, despite his power, he was never driven by ambition or a desire for greatness. He had no need for fame, no interest in ruling the wizarding world. His motives were painfully simple: a love that outlived death, a promise that became his burden, and a duty that he carried to the very end. In the grand scheme of things, history may not remember him the way it does Dumbledore or Voldemort. His victories were not celebrated, his name not revered. But those who truly understand magic, those who recognize what true strength looks like, know the truth. Severus